Good morning, JB. How's everyone doing today? Hey, Val, good morning. Doing? Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Let's give it a couple of moments before we get started. Hey, BL. Hey, Tabitha, how you doing? Hi, Ida. 2 more minutes before we get started. Hey, Tracy. No, I haven't got into any trades. I was watching a couple. Was very tempted on the Aussie. I'll tell you more about that shortly. But didn't manage to get in as we were just starting the stream right now. Hey Minal, how are you doing? Hola. Are we going to have analysis today? Sabina, yes we are. Daily market analysis, we're getting to that. Starting in a minute. Let's give it a minute before we get started. Thank you, Edith. Alrighty. Let's get started. So again, a big welcome. Thank you for joining me again on this daily market analysis. If you are new to the session, do me a huge favor. Drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. For all the regulars, you know the drill. For everyone else, regulars and everyone else, you know the drill. Click that like and subscribe button on YouTube. The link is there as well for the Discord channel. So do make sure you click on that and join the Discord if you haven't already. That's where we can take our discussions beyond this daily market analysis. I do share a lot of trade ideas through the day. If it happens, sharing you my thought process. And if I get into any trades, what I'm looking at, when I'm looking to get off a trade, it's all shared there. Okay, you can ask questions as well. During this daily market analysis, what I will be doing is looking at fundamentals, looking at what happened in terms of the news previously, yesterday, since the last time we spoke, what's coming up. Today, I think we have the US ADP non-farm numbers to be released, so I'll tell you more about that shortly. We look at the technicals in the major currency pairs, where price is or where price was and where it is right now. Combine that together with fundamentals, we look for some possible trade setups. At any point in time, if you do have a question, please feel free to put it into the chat. Let me know any particular pairs you'd like me to look at. If you're not clear about something, you want me to explain further. If you have a trade that you got into, whether you made money, lost money, or still holding on to it, put it in, let me know. I'll share with you my views as well. Okay? Hey, in your case, how are you doing? So with that, quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, so please do your own due diligence. This is really my watch list, sharing with you my watch list. So I think what Val has shared very nicely in the Discord channel, in the community, is that she has her own analysis. She watch regularly, religiously on this stream. If it combine it together, if it aligns, you gain a little bit more confidence in terms of your trade setup. Not saying that's always going to make money, but the chances are likely to be a bit higher, and then you're possibly going to see some better results. Okay, so use it as a combination between your own trade analysis, my trade analysis, combine it, look for the alignment. Possibly, not saying that's going to make money for sure, but possibly a higher chance. So with that, your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Okay? So with that, that way for now. Hey Karsten, how are you doing? Hey PM. All right, so with that, let's look at what we had from yesterday after we spoke. So yesterday was really interesting. I did leave the stream running through after the session. I left it running all the way to a couple of hours after. So we did it from 3 to 4, the market analysis, and I think I left it running all the way to 6:30. So another 2.5 more hours on that. We did, for everyone who was watching, we did get into the US CAD, the loonie to the upside. I'll show you that. Right, so we did get into the loonie to the upside. I got out a little bit earlier, I think about there. I can't remember where, but about there. Saw a big retrace, and it's now finally hit our take profit level. So that was the update from yesterday, and I think we were stalking the euro dollar to the downside. It didn't happen. And then also, okay, someone just said, can I speak a bit more loudly? Can you guys let me know if the sound is okay? Sound is all right, let me know. If not, then let me know as well. Okay, and then one more thing we were looking at or updated during the continuation of the live stream was we were during a live stream looking to sell the Aussie down. It has broken to the downside. Someone did ask in the Discord channel, I can't remember the nickname right now, but did ask if I got into the Aussie. I actually do have a trade running here. So usually I go neutral on when I'm running a stream, but we've been waiting for this for a while, so I did get into that. We updated during the stream that I was looking for a short-term sell on the Aussie. Missed out on the pound dollar, right? So took a phone call and missed this trade on the pound dollar to the downside. So that was a good almost 50 pips downward move. So that was what happened pretty much from 4 to 6 yesterday. We did see at 10 p.m. GMT plus 8 US manufacturing PMI go from a 46, expected at 46.9, came out at 46.4. It's not a terrible number, right? It's not a terrible number, but we did see the dollar, there we go, we did see the dollar at that time have a bit of fluctuation, spike down before pushing back up, and then late into the night or early this morning, spike down towards that 101.9495 level. Okay, so that was the news. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy last night. NFP is this Friday, right? Hey, digital business, how you doing? Hey, Booba. Thank you, Angel Case. Thanks, Val. Ready. So, what we had this morning, early this morning, I can't believe that I missed out on this. I mean, we didn't speak about this yesterday, so I can't believe that we missed out on this. The Kiwi employment numbers. Maybe one reason why I missed out on it is that it's at 6:45 a.m. GMT plus 8, so it's not in my usual trading hours. I'm still deep asleep at that time. Kiwi, with the employment change quarter on quarter, was 0.8, got revised up to a 1.1. Expected 0.6, came out at a 1%. So employment change was quite positive given that it went up to 1% from an expected 0.6. But if you look at it, it's gone from a 1.1 to a 1. So a slight drop in terms of employment change number quarter on quarter. Unemployment rate for the Kiwis went from a 3.4 to a 3.6. They were expecting an increase to 3.5, but it came out a little bit higher than unemployment rate came out a little bit higher than expected at 3.6%. Because of this, it does look like one green number, good, one red number, which is bad. But if you think about it as an overall, this has dropped from 1.1 to 1. So it's actually a bad number, while unemployment rate has gone from 3.4 up to 3.6. So because of that, at 6:45, what we saw on the Kiwi dollar, take that away, I'll move that to the side, at 6, right, we saw a brief spike up, right? That's possibly the initial reaction, because everyone's going to see that 1% and think it's good news. But when you consider 1% against 1.1, when you consider that unemployment rate has gone from 3.4 to 3.6, that's the reason why we saw the Kiwi dollar end up trading lower because from the news, and then also continue down, breaking the support right now at 0.61, right? Hesitating at that 0.61 level. Overall, looks like we might see further downside. We'll go into the details shortly. Then, not much else. ADP non-farm employment change. 8:15 p.m. GMT plus 8 today. Again, I say this every month. Right? I think BL asked that question one time, and I repeat this every month. The ADP number precedes the NFP number on Friday, right? It precedes the NFP number. And because it says non-farm employment change and the ADP says non-farm employment change, it does not signal that the ADP is a good indication of the non-farm number, right? I've done all the data study over many months, over many years. I couldn't find a direct correlation between the ADP or strong direct correlation between the ADP and the non-farm. So it would be very risky to try and think that whatever the ADP comes out, then we're going to expect to see the non-farm on Friday print a similar number. Okay, so if you look at this last month in July, 7th of July, non-farm employment change was 306, got revised from 339 to 209. So a slight drop there in the non-farm number. While on the ADP, we actually saw a big increase. So that was on the 6th. So one day before ADP showed 267, expected 226, came out at 497. Right. So a big increase there in terms of ADP non-farm, but yet on the NFP, the non-farm employment change, government data, we actually saw a drop to 209. Big evidence that you should not be using that as an indication. Okay, but with that said, is this still a tradable news event? For sure, for sure. All right, why I say that, if you look at the 6th of July, 267, went up to 497. So if we go back to the dollar index to the 6th of July, which is, where is it? Lost it. Okay, there. I think this one. Yeah. All right, so we actually saw at that point, that was 8 o'clock period, dollar index, look at that. It was actually pushing up before the ADP had been trading to the downside. On release of the ADP, dollar index was at 102.95. After the ADP release at 497, right, we saw a push up over the next 2 hours, went up as high as 103.57, right, almost 103.60. So a big push to the upside because of the ADP, and then non-farm comes out and brings the dollar index right back down again. Okay, so it's still a tradable news event, but in this scenario, I'll be a bit careful again, because if you look at this, it was 497 for this month. It was 497. It's forecasted to be 191. All right, it's forecasted to be 191. I'm not going to ask you to guess what the number is, but I'm going to ask you now. Put it into the chat, whether you're on TradingView, YouTube, or trading.live. Put it into the chat. Let me know, what do you think the ADP non-farm number is going to be this time around? Is it going to be higher, or is it going to be lower than the forecast? All you have to say, higher or lower. Put it into the chat. Let me know. I'll give you 20 seconds for that. BL says higher than forecast. What about everyone else? Thanks for that, BL. Very quick answer. Jen says higher. Angel K says higher. All right. Anyone else? Karen says lower. I'm looking for 3 more answers. 3 more. Who's going to answer me? Min Kwan says it'll be higher than forecast like in the past. Ruben says higher. Okay. Good. All right. So what I would highlight to you guys here, and what you notice, is that we are getting a bit of a mixed answer. We do have a couple of you saying higher, a couple of you saying lower. Digital business just said going higher as well. Kwabi said higher, right? So actually maybe a lot more of you saying higher. But what I will highlight to you here is, if you do look at the numbers before, right, and also with the approach of trading, is that typically, you don't look at something continuously climbing to the upside. I do anticipate that we're going to see some level of correction, right? It was a big surprise at 497, right? So I do expect some level of correction. I do think that it will be higher, right? I do think that it will be higher, but I don't think it'll be higher than the previous. So the actual is possibly going to be about a 200 to 250 kind of number, but I don't think it's going to be a big surprise again. I would not, and also saying that I would not be surprised if it does come out a little bit lower maybe even at the 180 number. Okay, so with that, we're building the anticipation for what could happen on the dollar index. Also bearing in mind that the dollar index is right there at 102.16. If the ADP number comes out higher, we could see it spike up to test that 102.55 level. Okay, so we'll run different scenarios on this depending on what the number, or guessing what the number is going to be. With that, then not much else until tomorrow. CPI for the Swiss, 0.1 month to month, 0.1 going to minus 0.1. Not too concerned about that. And then the big event is the Bank of England interest rate decision tomorrow. I have published an article there. I have published an article for a brokerage. It is there. The link is there for you guys on the Discord channel to read. That's my analysis on the Bank of England interest rate decision. But we know that prices are moving. We know that I'm probably going to need a bit of an update. I will tell you more about that tomorrow during the live stream. Okay? And maybe we could even trade that together. If I keep the stream running, we could trade that together. It is at 7 p.m. GMT plus 8. So watch out for that. Yeah. Okay. So with all that said, then now looking at the charts, push that up. Today is the 2nd of August. I hope the 1st of August has been profitable for you. 2nd of August, we were saying yesterday that we were looking for the dollar index to close above 102, could trade towards 102.55. It did. Right after our session, close above 102. It pushed as high as 102.40, hit that resistance area before tracing back again. What you should notice here is that although we do have a longer term trend line to the upside, to the near term, or on the near term, we also have a trend line supporting this move to the upside. Okay, and that's possible. So before that, we had it like that. Okay, before that we had it like that. That's why we're looking for it to bounce or break through and go to the upside. Now that it's come back down, hit that support, dynamic support, or that trend line support, I feel that it's going to push back up again. Okay, Lillian just said what I was just thinking. Dollar index is hitting some kind of resistance. I do think that along that lines as well. 102.55 is likely. There were previous swing level here on the 10th of July, right? 102.55. Okay, so what I think is that we could see it trade up towards 102.55. I think we could still see it trade up to 102.55, but it is likely to remain within this range all the way through to the end. I can't write with my mouse. NFP. All right, I think it's going to remain within this range all the way to the NFP. So we'll be looking for the dollar index to trade up to 102.55. Could remain within range of 102 and 102.55. Okay. In the event that it doesn't remain within this range and break out above 102.55, then your next big resistance, for sure the next major one, would be at about 103.80. about 103.55 or 103.60. Before that, you could also have a level at about 103. I would say between this area, right? 102, 103 to 103, about 103. This whole area could be another provide some level of resistance. That away. Okay, so that's fair. Happy with that. So if it does break above 102.55, we could see it test 103, but I do think that is likely to remain within this range for now. Okay, what do you do if it respects the resistance and heads down? If it breaks lower, then we'll have different scenarios. I'll update you guys on the Discord channel, but if not, I think it's most likely going to range until the NFP. Okay, so with that said about the dollar index, then looking at the Kiwi, right? So yesterday we were saying trending down, waiting for reaction at support. It's broken that support. It's broken the support well and good. Trending down, looking for support along 6130. So 6130 broke, heading lower. The problem here is that it is right in the middle. Right, it is right in the middle of the support and now resistance level. But although it's right in the middle, I would say that we do have a round number effect here at 0.61. Put that as a dotted line. Not the strongest level because it broke quite easily, but at 0.61 as a round number, what I could be looking for here is a continuation to the downside. So look for that candle to close 6090. Right, take profit 30 pips. I would keep a very tight stop loss here, no more than 20 pips to the downside on the Kiwi dollar. So this is a very small trade downwards because we do have a big support here at 6060. Beyond that, we also have a next level at 6030. Okay, I'll tell you what you could do is that you could be looking at that. Yeah, okay. So what I would say is that we could be looking 0.6090, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 60 pips, but you would want to have a consideration at 6060. I'll be looking to sell this down 0.090. Stop loss 20, take profit 60. We would have a consideration at 0.6060. Okay. Does it? If that goes up, Kiwi dollar should come back down. If it tests that support and bounces back up, we'll still expect Kiwi dollar to come down. So that's reasonable. You see it reacting to that 0.61 level. So you do need a little bit of patience to wait for it to break lower before looking to sell. Then onto the Aussie dollar. So yesterday we were saying, hey, it's going to come down, break that support and trade to the downside. Give me a moment. Let me just close out that trade. Second. Okay. Right. So closed out that trade. I did have that trade running to the late last night or late yesterday, selling it down. So I was just closing that out at that point. Okay, so take that away. This short-term trade down was also because of yesterday we were looking as it broke that equal low, right? As it broke that equal low, then I was looking to sell it down towards this level. I was thinking that if it showed a big continuation to the downside, you know, I could drag that down and ride the Aussie lower, but just close it out at this point. So right now on the Aussie, I would say that now you can see why it's bouncing back up a little bit, right? You can see why, because it's way outside. It was way outside of Bollinger Band, so it's bounced back up. I anticipate that it could, dollar index dropping back down a little bit. Okay, I think what could happen, I'm going to test and then break down again. Especially if we do see the dollar index continue, retrace a little bit now, and then continue lower. Sell breaking the low. Yeah, now it's broken the low already. It's broken this low from the 29th and the 6th of July. Now it's coming close to this point that we see on the 5th of June, looking for it to trade lower. So a retrace, test, and reject of 0.66 for trading back down. So I'll keep this view, right? I might go a little bit lower. 6575. My nose is going mad again. 6575. Test, reject, 6575. Look to sell down. Okay. So that's a 30 pip stop loss, 100 pip take profit. 6575. 30 pip stop loss, 100 pip take profit downside. Okay, what someone's asked, what's the most I've made on a live stream, like live, not a pre-recorded view? Well, this is live. Not a lot. I don't know how many pips, but not a lot during a live stream, mainly because we do this at this time. You don't normally see a lot of volatility at this 3 p.m. GMT plus 8 period. I am trying to sort out some scheduling and logistics to think about, doing a live stream during the New York market opens as well. So stay tuned, might do that depending on audience numbers and scheduling. Okay, so that's the Aussie. I think that's trouble. Good break, bounce, retrace, test, reject, sell down. Okay, that's fine. I like that one. Yep. Again, guys, halfway through the session, a quick reminder is that if you like what you're seeing, do help me out. Click that like, subscribe button on YouTube, TradingView, and on trading.live. I would really appreciate that. For the US yen, we were looking for it to trade to the upside from 143.20 towards a big push. Didn't think it was going to move that much. That's why we had a few levels in the middle to consider. Pushed up slightly before coming back down. Okay, so this could have hit stop loss if you did get into that trade. However, we were just talking about this with a couple of traders here in the office. Right, we were looking to say, hey, if it does drop, what would you sell it down? Someone was asking me, would I sell the US yen down from 142.66 I think it was at about 142.60 before. Would we sell it down to 142? I think, and I said that, 140, I wouldn't be looking to sell the US yen down. It's just not something I'll be thinking of with the way it's been climbing. I think I said this yesterday as well. It is a little bit too risky to sell that big upward move. So if it does drop down to 142, I would be looking to buy it back up. Right? If it does sit here, then I'll be looking for it to break above, again, above 143 for that upside. In this scenario now, I like how it's holding a little bit there. Right? I think that it could come as low as 142.50. I think that there might be a little bit of a down. I don't think it's going to come all the way down. I think that might come down to 142.50, 142.40 before pushing back up again. And we looked at this. So I would maintain this view. 143.15. Stop loss relatively tight at about 30 pips. I wouldn't go crazy thinking it's going to get to 145 straight away. Even with the ADP non-farm expected, I think that I wouldn't be too super optimistic thinking it'll get to 145. If it gets that 100 pips, I'll be more than happy there. Okay. And then I would update this and consider this point. Hey, are your BAMs? Good to see you. Welcome to the group. I do go live every day, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. Thanks for joining us. Link is there again for the Discord channel. Praveen, I will get to the US CAD shortly. Okay, so US yen break 143, 143.15, stop loss 30, take profit 100. Buy 143.15. Stop loss 30, take profit 100. Can't type today. Okay. Looks like it might trace down a little bit for pushing. Okay, so that's the view. Break above, buy it up. You would at least have a 1:1. Right? If it gets to 1:1, I will move my stop loss to break even. Then after that, I'll try for that 100 pips to the upside on the US yen. Then onto the pound dollar. Yeah, very different timing in Nigeria. I don't know what the timing is there right now, but it is 3 p.m. GMT plus 8. Okay, so yes, I missed that, right? We were talking about this, right? Continuation sell 1.2810, stop loss 30, take profit 45. This was 1.2810, stop loss 30, take profit 45 to the downside. So it broke out of that consolidation. We were sitting there, right? We were looking at this at that 3 p.m. timing, and it was really tricky. We saw a push, and then next hour we saw a push back up, and then after that it came down, finally broke lower or broke out to the downside, and saw pretty much straightforward down move to that low. Okay, I think Val, I'm pretty sure Val made money on this as well. So I do remember some trades sometimes. Okay, so that worked out well. I did miss that because I was on a call. Now that it's found a support at 1.2750, it looks like it might hold. And maybe push back up. I don't want to, well, see, the thing is, I don't want to say that it's going to push back up because I don't see a reason why it should push back up too much. Okay. So I did identify this, that it was in a channel, right? And that's why it's found that bottom of the lower bound of the channel. That's on the daily time frame. Then if you look on the H4, now that it's found the support, I think that it could, okay, so you all know the way I approach it. I like my trends a lot more than my counter trend. So I say that the pound dollar could climb back up, test this level before turning back down again. Okay. And I would actually draw this a little bit more accurately because we do have the Bank of England with their rate decision tomorrow. I think that that could happen. I'll update you more, but I think that we could see that. So if that does happen, with markets pricing in the scenario that the Bank of England could hike rates. So if we look at this again, Bank of England expected to hike rates by 25 basis points. However, you can't rule out that it might surprise markets with a 50 basis point rate hike. As was just happened in June, they were anticipating 25, got released at 50. Okay, but read the analysis, read my article for more detailed analysis straight away. I think that we could see it priced in before trading lower. So I would be looking for selling opportunities, say about 1.2860. Stop loss would be about no more than 40 pips. So I'll say even if you did 40, all right, it will come and test this level. So I'll say it will slowly climb up, test, and reject. Could be looking at a little bit higher, 2870. Stop loss 40 pips, take profit 120 to the downside. Okay, I like that one. So no more breakout of consolidation. I'll be looking to sell 1.2870, stop loss 40, take profit 120 to the downside. So you see here that we're quite narrow on the Kiwi dollar. We're a little bit narrow, or could be a little bit narrow on the Aussie. But we're looking at some potential big moves here on the pound dollar. Oh wait, I just realized something. That's why it doesn't make so much sense. We're on H4. Okay, let's take that away now. Let's go back to the H1 time frame. Bounce up, test. Okay, so what we'll do, similar view. 1.2870. This case, I'll say 1.2860 because I see a test and reject. So I think this is going to happen. Test, reject, then back down. Because of that, I would keep my stop loss a lot tighter, so about 30 pips. Take profit back down to 100. Okay. 270, stop loss 30. Take profit 100. Good one, Vel. We shouldn't take the buy move. I wouldn't. I'm just not sure how much it would retrace by. It could come up to about 1.2830 before turning back down again. Maybe we might see a selling opportunity at that point as well. So there are many levels that the pound dollar could climb towards before turning back down, I feel. So I would rather sit it out, wait for it to climb, look for rejection, then look to sell it back down again. Then onto the euro dollar. This was a little frustrating. This was not a little, very frustrating. Right, we saw a double top at that 50% fib level, break the neckline, trade it down. We spoke about that yesterday. And then I was very keen. I saw this move. Right, I saw this big push down. I thought, great. I think I updated it into the Discord channel as well. Right, I thought that it was going to come down, continue that momentum, break the support, and trade lower. Did not happen. Did not trigger. So take that away. It's found a bit of an equal low. So we see this support level here holding quite strong, 10th of July. Again on the 28th, came very close on the 1st of August. Now bouncing back up. It's right in the middle. Right? It's right in the middle of the support and resistance formed by the 50% fib retracement level. So what I'm thinking here on the euro dollar is that we're going to see it consolidate. Right, we're going to see it consolidate. And then I'm still looking for a downward push. Right, because the euro dollar has been dropping so strongly. Looking at that, I'll still be looking for a push to the downside. I think what could happen here is it's going to consolidate and then break out. So it's going to bounce around this area, but I'm looking for that push to the downside. Hey Jamil, how you doing? So I would still maintain that view. I still think that we could be looking to sell the euro down 1.0940, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 60, 70 pips to the downside. Break, cover back. Yep, that's fine. Consolidate along this range for breaking lower. Yep, okay. I'm just thinking whether 1.0940 is a little bit too near. 3530. Stop loss 25 pips. Take profit 60 pips. I think I like that better. Okay. So I'll look at this 1.0930. Stop loss 25. Take profit 60. Okay. That makes sense. Fair enough. Then onto the Swizzy. Pushed up, came back down, hit your stop. You should have closed out. So that was a good 20 something pip move to the upside. We were only looking at 35. So at 25 pips, you might have wanted to close out that trade as well. But it came back down, now pushing back up again. You would notice that we are seeing that supported to the upside. So don't do anything yet, wait for it. If it's going to break above that 8787 resistance level, then we could see further upside. Okay, take that away, that away. Break above the resistance of 8787. Then at about 8, break above 0.88. I want it, because it's so near to that round number level. So I'll say 8810. Take profit 95 pips. Stop loss 30 pips would be reasonable. Okay, so here's what I think on the US Swiss franc. It is approaching nice strong resistance here, right? A nice strong strongish resistance here. That's also why I have placed an idea that needs to break, not just break above the resistance, it needs to break above the round number, get to 0.8810 before I would look to buy it up. The consideration is, could it test and then reject? I think with the trend line here, anticipating the dollar to continue, then I would say I'll still hold that view. So if it does test and break back down, good thing is your trade would not be triggered. Then I would say that at that point you'll be looking for it to continue breaking the upside. So that's fine. 8810, 30 pip stop loss, 95 pip take profit. 8810, 30 and 95. Okay, the thing to remember here is that, or thing to highlight here to you guys, is that if you realize suddenly, very suddenly, because we're looking at levels which are a little bit further away, Aussie at 100 pips, yen, pound, and the US Swiss franc almost at 100 pips as well. I think that reminder is that you don't always have to hold it to take profit. Okay, why I'm highlighting that, we do have the ADP to be released. It could cause a big spike. Then you could close out the trade and take profit, or you might even be thinking that you could get into a trade, buy the news, close out, or if the news causes a retracement, then you'll be looking to get in only on a bounce. Okay, so you don't have to always hold it on through to take profit. You can always look to close it out early. A good example is this one on the US CAD, right? So yesterday we were looking at the CAD 1.3255, stop loss 25, take profit 45. So we were looking at this on the CAD being 1.3255 there. Stop loss 25, take profit 45. Okay, so this was the trade from yesterday. We did see that after the stream. So during the stream, we saw this pushing to the upside. So this is 3 o'clock yesterday. 4 o'clock came to the equal level and then broke up. We did get into that trade. A number of you on the stream did, and in the Discord channel did say that it got into the trade, pushed up. I think I got out at about that point. I think I got out about that point. The next moment we saw it retrace back, come back up, and you see that if I left this trade without thinking about, only to think about closing out at take profit, it would have held on all the way through to just 1 hour, almost 2 hours ago, where I would have hit my take profit. Okay, so you don't always have to hold it take profit. Can always get out a bit earlier if you think that it's losing some momentum. And I was very happy. I was actually very happy to get out because I did see that spike. A bit fortunate that it did come back down and push back up, but it could have sat there and then traded significantly lower. So I'm always happy to get out. And like, again, I'm picking on Val today, but as Val said, you don't lose money by closing out profits. So now that it's at that next resistance of 1.33, looking at this, very tight, very steep trend line to the upside. If it breaks above It's hesitating a little bit there, but if it breaks above that resistance, then we do have the next big one at 1.33, almost 1.32, but I would say 1.3375. What I think could happen here is, I'll take that away. What I think could happen here is a bit of a consolidation. I don't use COT. Try and keep it a little bit simpler for most retail traders. So I'm looking at that point. I'm looking at that point. Right across. Okay. So what I think could happen here is that we're going to see either the US cats sitting right there or trading back down a little bit before pushing back up. So I would be looking at 1.3315. Take profit would be about 60 pips. Stop loss, I would say, because of that, of it potentially coming down before bouncing back up or consolidating for pushing higher, we would want to keep our stop loss a little bit tighter, so about 20, 25 pips would be reasonable for that upside towards 1.3375. If it does break down, same deal, a counter trend, I possibly would not be looking at getting into that trade or the counter trend trade. 1.3315, stop loss 20, take profit 6. That makes sense. Buy 1.3315, stop loss 20, take profits. Here we go. All right. So there are also many considerations about, sometimes if you've been following my stream for a while, there will be scenarios where I'll be identifying counter trend trades, and I'll be telling you, hey, this is the counter trend, but something that I'll be looking out for. And then there are other times where it's a counter trend, and I'll say, I'm a trending trader. I'm possibly not going to enter because of a counter trend. What goes through my mind, what I'm considering on whether to take on a counter trend trade or not, it's really in terms of how much risk capital do I have. This being a new month, we're only on the 2nd of August. This being a new month, my approach is going to be a little bit more conservative. I want to trade with the trend, look for it to break or trade up towards resistance or trade down towards support levels, build the profit, build and accumulate the profit first, build that risk capital. Then from there, usually see later into the month, I will be a bit more speculative. I'll be a little bit more ready to take on counter trend trades. Okay, so that's the way I would approach it. Early in the month, we do have a lot of data being released. I'll be looking for a continuation of trends or following of the trends. Then if we do see big moves, then towards the end of the month, I'll be looking for counter trend as it retraces from any particular resistance or support levels. Okay, so that's how I consider that. Then on to gold. Is Robbie on the call? Robbie said he was going to scalp it down, right? He was at that point. We were right here, yesterday, and said he's going to scalp it down to 1944. I hope Robbie's on the call because I know that he would have scalped it down. He would have made good profits on gold to the downside, right? Now it's sitting at the 1948 level. It's sitting at this 1948 level. You can see that we're not seeing any clear directional bias on the dollar index. So I think that gold is likely to continue to fluctuate within this range. Right, between 1944 and 1953. Then you see that it's formed a little bit of a double bottom as well, but it hasn't broken above this point. I think driven mainly by the way the correlation with the dollar index, I think that gold is likely to remain between 1944 and 1954. All right, likely range between 1944 and 1954. Okay, there we go. There we had it. So Praveen, hope you caught the US CAD trade or setup. Any further questions? Because we're in a new hour, so I'm just scrolling through, checking the charts. Everything's bouncing a little bit. US yen trading lower before bouncing, hopefully. Pound dollar pushing up. I'll be looking for this. Okay, so if we look to buy this up, I don't really like it. If you're looking to buy this up, stop, take profit, 70 pips, stop loss, the pips. Could be, but I'm not super keen. Even if you had it at 35, 70, just need to break above that point as well. So there are several things to think about if you are looking to buy, or you would be looking to buy the pound dollar up right now. I would prefer to look for it to go up, reject that level, and sell it back down again. Euro dollar consolidating, looking for a push to the downside. US Swiss franc not doing too much, and US CAD doing the same thing. All right. So with that said, I'm not going, with the way the prices are running, and I think it might slow down a little bit in the lead up to the ADP non-farm employment change number. We're most likely going to see a little bit of consolidation. I think there is still potential for a breakout. So I'm not going to leave the stream running on for today. But if you do have any questions, if you are looking to enter any trades, please join the Discord channel. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help. See you on Discord. If not, then pound yen. PM's asking about pound yen. Pound yen, we were looking at this pushing up, came up, hit that equal, or many equal highs, then pushing back down. Now, why is it trading down? It's really because we are seeing some downside on the dollar yen. Pound dollar is pushing up. So I would say that pound yen, again, wait, was I looking at pound yen? The chart also. Okay, pound yen. What was I looking at? Pound yen at this point, test. Okay, it could break, it could trade lower, driven by the US yen. However, we are expecting the US yen to drop before bouncing back up again. We are looking at some upside move on the pound dollar. Maybe what we could be looking for here is a push back up I just don't like that range, 182, about that 50 something pip range. Pip range, not super keen on that. Looks like it needs to come back down a little bit before pushing back up. I'm not highly confident on how far it could come down for pushing up. All right, PM, let me know what you think. Let me know if you are getting into any trades. All right, so with that said, I don't have anything super high on my watch list. Thank you, Ju Marinas. Thank you, Quan. Thanks, Devel. Thanks, Karsten. I think the highest one on my list would be the Aussie dollar. Right, it hasn't bounced as much, consolidating, but I do think that that downside move is of a higher potential compared to, well, Kiwi dollar as well. But Aussie dollar has a lot more potential. US yen tracing back, no reason. Pound dollar tracing back a little bit, and you can see now we make a lot of sense. Yen could trade down, pound dollar could trade down, then back to the, that's why we're seeing a relatively strong push to the downside of the pound yen. Okay. Right. Where's the pound weakness coming from? 2 hours ago, British pound might be in trouble as retail traders turn net long pound. Fine. I think this is only a small retracement. Would need to break above this point before we look at a before we look at a continuation to the upside. Most welcome there, PM. Okay, so with that, see you on Discord. In the meantime, trade well, trade safe, and take care now. See you tomorrow as well, 3 p.m. GMT+8. Bye-bye.